Hey guys, Henry here, and today we're going to be going through and explaining Jackie Chan's latest film, Vanguard. It's a Chinese action spy movie about this group called Vanguard, and they're like a special private security agency of highly trained Chinese operatives, and Jackie Chan is basically the brains of the operation. Right off the bat, I have to say, it's not that great, and to be honest, it's actually a bit of a mess. I think one of the biggest things is that Jackie Chan isn't actually involved in a lot of the stunts, which I sort of get because he is getting older. But the younger guys are part of this Vanguard group that Jackie Chan has supposedly mentored, definitely don't have any of the magic that Jackie Chan used to bring to the screen. So without any Jackie Chan stunts or physical comedy, what does this movie do well? Not much. Before we jump into the breakdown and explain what happened in Vanguard, go ahead and hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to Cloudy TV for more content from me. As always, with these types of videos, there will be spoilers ahead, that is if you really care. So we start off with some suspicious looking dudes who capture an accountant named Chin and his wife in London. And two off-duty Vanguard agents, Kai Xuan, a dutiful husband and a father, and Lei, an eligible bachelor, are called into action to save the two of them. And cue the series of cheesy lines. We've got, "Your puppy needs you." Yeah, that just makes no sense. As well as Chin asking where they're from and Lei responding by yelling, "I'm from Vanguard," before jumping off a building. And to give some credit, there was some creative fighting tactics. I mean, they were rubbing chilies into people's eyes and chucking durians at people. Like, yeah, that shit would definitely hurt. Chin and his wife are saved and they make a getaway in a bloody limousine that just goes crazy in reverse when they're escaping, literally reversing full speed and then doing a handbrake half spin thing and then just blending into the traffic as the title sequence rolls. And just from this driving scene, you could tell a lot of it was CGI, and you knew that this movie, it's about to get ridiculous. Back at Vanguard HQ, they learn that the group that attempted to capture Chin is a group by the name of the Arctic Wolves, led by a bloke named Broto, who will do, and I quote, "anything for money." Definitely not a cliche. Jackie Chan's character Tang, and I'm just gonna call him Jackie Chan for the rest of the video because, I mean, it's just Jackie Chan. He questions why they want Chin, and Chin reveals that he had previously worked with a business partner called Massim, who he helped to sell oil and artifacts in Europe and helped him grow a fortune. But he later found out that he ran the Middle Eastern terrorist group, the Brotherhood of Vengeance, and he tried to quit, but he was blackmailed into continuing to work for Massim and into arranging for the purchase of weapons of mass destruction. And while my description may seem vague and basic, it's exactly the same description that they give in the movie. Chin had previously tipped off the London police, and Massim had died in a military operation, and his son Omar has now engaged the Arctic Wolves to kidnap Chin to force him to hand over the rest of his father's money. Chin's daughter, Farida, is in Africa working as a wildlife conservationist, and realizing Omar will target her next, he asks Jackie Chan to help protect her. So obviously, that's where they go. And not only are those terrorists trying to get to Chin's daughter, but as she's involved in exposing poachers in Africa, a big name poacher by the name of Tunda is also out to get her as well. And what do you know, Tunda and the Arctic Wolves are just best mates. So they work and team up to get Farida. We get an awful scene of Farida playing with a CGI lion, and then all the parties arrive simultaneously at her whereabouts and a brawl breaks out, with one guy getting mauled and eaten by Farida's lion friend, Charlie. Of course, we still get some decent fight choreography, as you'd expect from Jackie Chan, but also at the same time, a lot of stupid sequences as well. I mean, one guy drops a knife on his own foot, a bunch of guys also just get sprayed by a bunch of bullets because they just don't stand behind any cover. Lei, the young member of Vanguard, is accidentally shot with an elephant tranquilizer by Farida as she was trying to defend herself, but she manages to escape with him into the water with her convertible boat car-mobile thing. Jackie Chan and the others regroup, with some of them sustaining injuries, and he decides to track down Lei and Farida by himself. Miya, the sick limo driver from earlier, tags along with him. Farida brings Lei into some nest thingy, literally the wackest looking place to take him while he's unconscious, high up in the trees on a little swing thing. It hardly looks comfortable. And the next morning, the bad guys and their pet hyenas, for some reason, they all rock up at the treehouse, and it's definitely not clear or explained how they know where they are, but yeah, let's just go with it. Jackie Chan also rocks up at the exact same time and they take out the baddies. And again, Farida makes a getaway in the car boatmobile thingy, driving it into the river. However, the bad guys, now ready for this, also have some boats and jet skis, and another fight breaks out as the boats race across the rapids. Miya ends up in the water and Jackie Chan commandeers a jet ski and rescues her just before she goes flying off the cliff, and they're evacuated out by a helicopter. Lei is not so lucky. He gets belted across the head with a hammer and it looks like a serious blow, like brain damage level. The hit was brutal. And him and Farida are captured by Broto. The Arctic Wolves now demand for Vanguard to give up Chin in exchange for Lei, and Chin asks to speak with Jackie Chan in private, and he tells him that he's the only one that knows where Massim's assets are, and if Omar gets his hands on the money, he will definitely use it to buy more weapons and be a bigger threat. Obviously, here Chin is trying to say to Jackie Chan that it's the morally correct thing not to give him up, and Jackie Chan ain't impressed, as he says that greed is the root of all evils, which I find extremely ironic because he's only involved with Chin because he's on Chin's payroll, right? It's like a private security company. He's only protecting Chin and his daughter because Chin's paying him. So he's literally doing all this for money. I mean, how high and mighty do you want to be, mate? And then we literally have the most random interaction where Kai Xuan's son comes to say happy birthday and he gives him a Captain China medallion thing and tells Kai Xuan that he's his hero and that he thinks he's Captain China and that Captain China is stronger than Captain America. Like, okay, like, I mean, what's the point of having this? I mean, I guess it's just a little bit of shade. Anyways, the Vanguard crew get ready, and by crew, I mean now, this 3 or 4 person operation just becomes a whole army, and they get prepared to go and rescue Lei and Farida from Omar's base in a place called Jayadebala, which is apparently meant to be Zambia, and it's apparently defended by 2,000 fighters. Jackie Chan gives an inspirational pre-mission speech, and they all head out to Jayadebala. They approach some locals for assistance getting through their defenses and getting inside the fortress, and they use the controversial technique of blackface. Yet another very random and very unnecessary inclusion. And they also activate some pigeon drones and some fly drones for surveillance, and they see that the Brotherhood is trying to convert Lee, who seems to be perfectly fine after copping that hammer to the head. I mean, that's just passed over like it didn't happen. And they try to bribe him with more money than he could ever imagine. But of course, Lei, being the hero that he is not going to be corrupted by money because he's a man of ethics. So since he's not going to join them, they strap a bomb to his chest. 4 Vanguard operatives travel through the sewage system to get inside, and they set explosives up around the compound, while Miya goes in disguised as a server. The next morning, Jackie Chan and Chin go to meet up with Omar, supposedly exchanging the whereabouts of the money for Lei and Farida. And as they arrive, the Vanguard agents inside start taking out Omar's guards. Chin hands over some documents to Omar, and Omar isn't happy because all the documents say is that his father's assets have been converted into gold, so not actual cash, and he gets mad and orders for Farida to be beheaded and for Lei's bomb to begin its countdown. A sniper shoots the guy with a knife just before he can behead Farida, and a gunfight breaks out. Kai Xuan goes to defuse the bomb strapped to Lei, but Lei, being the hero that he is, tells him to just make a run for it and leave him behind because, Kai Xuan has a son and he has to live for his son. But of course, Vanguard don't leave anyone behind, and they say this like a million times throughout the film. Kai Xuan manages to defuse the bomb on Lei's chest, but not the mines he's standing on. But of course, they manage to survive the explosion by using some super shield thing. Yeah, whatever. And then some guy on some hobgoblin glider just rocks up and starts murdering all of the bad guys. The Vanguard squad then just shoot themselves to freedom, but Kai Xuan is shot and presumed dead, with his vital signs unable to be detected. And Lei, being the hero that he is, owing his life to Kai Xuan, goes back to save him, and he drags his body out. A couple more Vanguard agents get shot, and Chin, wanting to do the right thing, offers himself up to Omar so that the rest of them, including his daughter, can get away safely. The Vanguard cars then literally just go flying out of the fortress through a bunch of buildings, giving off very Fast and Furious vibes, and I find it very hard to believe that they thought that this was a legitimate escape plan. As they drive away, Lei performs CPR on Kai Xuan, and Kai Xuan wakes up and reveals that the bullet that hit him in the chest exactly where he had placed his Captain China medallion. Omar then goes to torture Chin, but before he even touches him, Chin tells him immediately that the gold is in Dubai. So Omar, not getting any action, just proceeds to punch Chin in the face anyways. In Dubai now, the Vanguard team decide to use a classic honeypot trap, so classic, and get Miya to seduce the Arctic Wolves operatives while they hack into their mobile phones. This scene is just so stupid. I mean, the movie was already really disjointed and felt like such a mishmash of things, and this was just another one of those things that just felt really out of place and felt like another movie altogether. And even after they hacked their phones, it just felt like it was completely unnecessary. I don't even feel like they used any hacking into phones. They just literally followed the guy and they found out where they were going. They follow him and they find Omar, who's set up a meeting with this Russian arms dealer at the location that Chin claims that the $200 million in gold is going to be. Chin then brings them to a garage which houses a whole bunch of solid gold cars, each of which he claims is worth $100 million. Omar then offers the Russian 2 cars in exchange for the weapon. And surprisingly, the Russian guy's just cool with it. And he hands over the weapon, which is essentially a drone that fires missiles. And Omar intends to use this weapon to bomb the US military base in Dubai, who are responsible for the death of his father and family. The Vanguard team works closely with the Dubai police to close in on Omar, and he and his men escape in the remaining gold cars. And it's just insane to see these gold cars flying through the streets. I mean, they claim to be solid gold cars. It's just, I don't know what to say, honestly. The Russian guy gets apprehended immediately, so he sold his weapon for 2 gold cars and got arrested straight away. Yeah, pretty raw deal. The chase then leads them all to a shopping complex where all the cars have crashed, and Omar takes Chin hostage into an aquarium, but Jackie Chan and Lei follow them in and defeat Omar and rescue Chin, and Jackie Chan pushes Omar into a shark tank, but we don't get to see if he gets eaten or not, but I'm guessing he is because he's bleeding profusely and he's just in a shark tank. So yeah, surely he's dead. And the ending of the movie is they all basically have a big party to celebrate the successful mission in Dubai. And it's funny because the Dubai police were actually useful in this instance. I feel like so often in these types of movies, the police just get in the way, but in this instance, they actually worked well together. And in the end, there's this really weird scene where Jackie Chan and the Dubai police captain are just complimenting each other on how well they did and how successful the mission was. And of course, the Dubai captain's got a Chinese wife and Jackie Chan compliments her as well. There also is a bit of a romantic gesture by Lei towards Farida, but they don't kiss or anything. Lei just does the gesture, Farida's like looking at him, and then he just walks away. And that's just the end of the movie. This movie is, yeah, it's dog shit. I mean, it's so CGI heavy. A lot of the scenes looked terrible. All the fight scenes, all the action scenes, any scene including an animal, a vehicle of some sort, whether it be a car, a jet, a drone, anything like that, it looked so distractingly unrealistic. And honestly, some of the scenes literally looked like they were straight out of a PS2 game. And throughout the whole movie, I was constantly asking myself, how much of this is actually shot on a green screen? Because a lot of it has that look of a moving person in front of a static image. But then in the end credits, they literally show them shooting on the rapids in the water and they're practically shooting it. But when I'm watching it, it literally looks so fake. So they did it for real and they made it look fake. That makes no sense. This movie just felt so random as well in terms of the storyline and the plot. It really tried so hard to cram in every single possible marketable genre trope, and it did not care whether or not it made any sense at all. I mean, of course, you got the car chases, you've got the animals involved in the fighting, you've got the fighting on the water, and then you've got like this superhero element when the guy comes in on that glider thing and he's just taking out dudes and flying around. Then you've also got like this family arc with Faisran's kid and him being a good father or whatever. Then you've also got this brother-in-arms plotline with Faisran and Lei, and then you've got this romantic plotline with Lei and Farida, and then you've also got this feminine seductress espionage spy act also going on with Miya. And on top of all of this, you've just got a whole bunch of Chinese nationalism as well. And you just can't deny that there's clearly a bit of a political agenda imbued into this film. Every time the Vanguard do anything, like when Jackie Chan refuses to shake hands with Chin because greed is the root of all evil and protecting the innocents is our paramount duty, or when Lei refuses to be converted to the bad side because of money, because he's got, you know, morals. It's all very heavily insinuating that the Vanguard and the Vanguard are literally just all the Chinese people in this movie, are upholding Chinese morals and ethics. It also felt like a bit of a tourism ad for Dubai in that last act, especially with the honeypotting scenes. They were just so unnecessary, and it was just like an excuse to get a girl in a bikini by the pool with the hotels and the nice cars and stuff like that. Yeah, honestly, this movie is just a hot mess. And the worst thing is, you could just tell it was expensive. Even though it looked crappy, you could just tell this movie cost a whole buttload of money. And as I said before, this movie just tried to cram in so many things, and there was not one single thing that really fully engaged me at all. If it wasn't the CGI that took me out of the film, it was the weird and wacky plot lines or the not so subtle political agendas that did. Thank you guys for watching this video. Be sure to give me a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to Cloudy TV for more content from me. Let me know what you thought of the movie Vanguard in the comment section down below, and also let me know what are some of your favorite Jackie Chan films, because I know that Vanguard definitely is not one of them. Also, be sure to check out some of my other videos down below. As always, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.